So we've given everybody the opportunity to tell us about their musical career, their what they've done in their particular communities and the schools and everything they've experienced. But I want to go one by one individually to talk to each one of you about what are your plans for the future in your musical education career? What do you plan on doing to help enrich the lives of the students, and especially the students, and not looking at this from a despairing kind of way, like, I want to help the white students more than the black students, but like each one of you has said, there was some type of black music educator that grabbed you and pulled you along the way and helped you get to the point where you are now. So talking about us, what are you guys' thoughts and practices that you're going to do, because all of you are teaching at different levels from elementary all the way to college, to help push our people to the next level? I'm gonna start with you first, Kim.
For me in my program is mainly I say, when I got to BC Rain, there was so many stages and levels, because when I got there, the music program was completely shut down. It wasn't in the curriculum. So if you saw them, it was only after school practice. There was nothing in throughout the whole day. So when I got there, I had to start from the box, not even from scratch. But getting back to the fundamentals, number one was the discipline. Then two was the fundamentals. Three, changing the full sound, then changing the look. That was the first 2 years. The third year was actually building the musicality of taking them to taking them to Alabama State Honor Band, take them to, I had no choice, but take them to evaluation, having them apply for scholarship auditions. The next year was challenging them by going from grade 2 to grade 4 and still making superior ratings on that part. And then, doing the jamboree, having the kids making honor band and gold band, because there's no red band anymore. Things like that. So exposure was my third one. And the fourth one is just now trying to survive COVID, to be honest, as of right now, for lack of better words, trying to come back and survive and have a phenomenal, successful program post-COVID. But some of the issues that's still going on, I think all of us can have is support. And we're not talking financial support. It's about, the community support and at home support. Because at the end of the day, there's somebody's child who wants to go to college, and they fail to realize nowadays that this is a free ticket. This is a free meal, for the lack of better words. You want to put that terminology. All you got to do is play your horn and build a good character relationship with that band director you audition. And that could be your easy way in, easy way out. But, without that support and that even education on that, to have the parents or whoever to understand that, without, band and other even fine arts in itself, you're going to be stuck in that same environment. But to come back around, but for me, it's just about trying to survive, COVID, as far as personally and also on the business aspect, and see how well all of us can come back around. What's going to be the new norm for us? I don't see marching festivals happening. So what alternatives we're going to have? District evaluation, can that happen or can it not happen? Concerts, how we're going to go about doing that? And at the same time, making sure we're safe, but still providing the quality music education, music performance experience for our students, and making sure our seniors are successful going on, moving forward, and at the same time recruiting our students and keep them engaged, because I feel like we're all doing triple work of getting our kids first. Back then it was just word of mouth and just pride. Now we gotta get the parents, or grandparents or brother and sister, then get them to try to come on, and then persuade them to stay without being overly sensitive when we're not. So but that's another topic in itself.
Right. You touched on something real heavy there, man, because the way my mom was set up, it wasn't you go and play football. She told me straight up, this is before I even touched a horn or got into music. It was, you're going to get it with the books. Like the guys at my church, because I'm a heavy guy, you ain't let that boy play football. She was like, you take him to your house and you feed him and you put clothes on him and he can play whatever you want him to play. But as in this house, we in the books. I was spending my summers at the DIP Public Library. Like
the street, right?
I stayed at the library. That's where I was, at the library, right up the street from my house. I didn't go to the beach. I didn't go here. I really didn't start doing a lot of extracurricular activities until I got in band. I tell everybody I owe band me traveling the world. I've been to Hawaii. I've been to Washington, D.C. I've been up and down the road. I've never stayed in the band. It's band is really what cultivated me. And she's used band as a bargaining chip. Like, all right, your grade got low, you got a D. Okay, you must don't want to be in band. It's a whole no.
And a lot of people don't see that. And a lot of people
read something real quick. I can't. You can't take me out of band. You can't take me out of band, please. But we don't have that anymore. And it's something that my sister would say. Well, my mom didn't let me do choir. I said because you was fully book smart. Like I'm book smart, but I get distracted easily.
Correct.
Real easy. My report cards would be A's and B's, a C maybe, and talks excessively at times. So I understood why my mama put me in something to curb that that sensation to, all right, get something to calm him down and, bring him back down. But I want to jump to Marcellus next on that same question.
Run that question about one more time, Malcolm. I'm sorry.
Basically, what are some things that you're going to do to, as a Black band director, to continue to help students of color, and of course all students as well. But just like we've been talking about, each one of us has said how somebody and that is a Black male or a Black female or Black figure has pulled us in the direction that we're in now when it comes to music. And what is going to be your thing that you do personally for your students, helping them to push forward to the future? And Kendall brought up a great point about COVID, everything going with COVID.
Well, me personally, I know just my bond with the kids is primary, just number one right off the top, because the area I teach in, I don't know if you know Barino, but it used to be called the Lemoyne Gardens. And this area is like the heart of South Memphis. You got Lemoyne on College. You know how every HBCU seemed to have a hood right there outside the gate. This was that hood right outside the gate, to the point where this place used to have a homicide like weekly or every other day that you would hear about back in the day. They tore it down, built a new little housing place over there. Most of my kids come from there. And also at the same time, my kids are like, a lot of them are not in a two-parent home. It's a single mom, and she ended up having maybe like 4 or 5 kids, to the point where the kids I have in band, I got to pull and try to talk to them and get all them. I don't have a big band. I'm just be honest with you. I don't. But because of the things that they, just like what Kendall said, they have too many options. A lot of them don't want to work. A lot of them don't want to do the kind of stuff it takes to be great, but they want to be great. But it's easier for them to be great by trying to play games and doing all this stuff. I'm finna go home. My mama said I gotta go home. And then some of them actually have responsibilities where they have, And then some of them actually have the legit responsibility of being the older or the oldest sibling. They have to be that parent because their parent is at work when they get out of school. So they got to walk, they got to make sure their little brother, their little sister get home, do all this stuff, feed them, do all this stuff. And a lot of them, I'm just going to upright say it, we know, because we're all African Americans, they don't have a father figure. So me primarily, other than music, that's my top priority, is to be that father figure that they can come to and be like, I got to talk. I don't know who else to go to and stuff like that. Because when I'm not in my classroom at the school, I'm walking the halls and just checking on my kids at random. Like, I don't say nothing. I just walk by, look at them, see if they on topic. I walk by another office. I see a student, one of my kids, probably sitting down in an area that they shouldn't be in. I'm like, so what's going on? What's up? They probably got in trouble. I try to do what I can to make that connection. Like, hey, what have I told you? If you need help with something or you need to talk to somebody and you can't just do just abruptly just get up and just walk off. You got to ask for permission. You got to do all this stuff. You got to go. You got to go through the guidelines and do all this stuff. Because if you do that in the real world, it's gonna be over with you. It's gonna be over for you in a blink of a heartbeat, just like that. And we seeing that now with all the injustice that's going on around the country anyway. So I think just building the bonds up with the kids is gonna be top priority for everybody. And like Kendall said, COVID is putting a damper on anything to the point where they canceling college homecomings. It's gonna be restrictions on performing. Class time is gonna be a major thing. It's gonna be tough. And it's gonna take some real passionate educators like ourselves that look like us to get back into where we are and build those kids up to have that pride in themselves and want to do something like band and music and just take off from there. Like, that's my top priority, really.
Most definitely. I want to get you real quick, Brandon. Now, Barrino, I want to end it off with you, LB. We run out of time. So, Brandon, let us know what you're going to do real quick to enrich the next generation of students.
Well, it's like what I do now. Like, I'm nosy to the point where I know my kids' schedule and I get to meet them and I'll be like, you know what? I know you, I know your house. And sometimes I tell my mom, look, I know you didn't ask to babysit all these kids, but sometimes when you at the house, try to help your mom out without her asking. So when you do ask, be like, hey, mom, I got to go to sectionals today. I need to go because I've been at home doing whatever. I need to go to sectionals, and she'll let you go. Like I always try to tell my student, it's give and take at the house and at school. You know you're supposed to go to class. We know you about to stop to see your girlfriend and do all this extra stuff. But you stopping to see your girlfriend, you walking her to class. She ain't going to be late. You won't be late. And at the end of the day, this ain't even going to be your girlfriend when you graduate high school. Mm-hmm. We already know this. When you go to college, this ain't going to be your girlfriend. So if she don't want you to get to class on time and make sure you're doing the right thing, that ain't the girl for you, bro. You need to do what you're supposed to do. So I always tell my students, I'm so nosy, I'll be like, look, bro, this is what you need to do. This is what you're going to do. I promise you, if you do this, your grades going to go up. And most of the time when my students do what I tell them to do, they start doing it. They start doing it because I'm enforcing it all the time. It's like it becomes second nature. So then it's like when they go places and they be like, hey, look, Mr. Evans, you told me the other day, hey, man, I should go home and do my homework first before I play my game so I can get more free time. I went home, did my homework, and then I was doing my free time. Then when I came to school the next day, she was like, did you read such and such? Oh, yeah, I read it, and then blah, 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 blah. Or I try to do, like, real-world situations. Like, what can you do right now to, like, this is going to affect you in the real world? If you start doing this now, using manners, addressing like you're supposed to, now, when you get to workforce, it's like, bro, I don't want to come up to McDonald's to see your pants sagging. You got to fix my food. I don't want to see that. I don't want none. So that's why I don't eat at McDonald's now. Because y'all don't dress the part. Then it was like, yo, why don't people hire you? I was like, bro, look at your hair. It's all thotted up like this. Like, bro, no, cut that. Keep it shaved. When you meet most people that's on their own business and all that other stuff, they're clean shaved. Unless they own their own business. Like, people will give you a better chance if you speak correctly. If you well groomed and your clothes are together. I ain't saying you gotta get the most expensive thing, but make sure you look nice. Like I drill that into my kids, especially the boys. Like we come there, shirt not tucked in, white shirt not tucked in. Come on, Missy, no, bro, no, step outside, tuck your shirt in. If my shirt's tucked in, your shirt need to be tucked in. It's like the little things. So now, like when kids come to my classroom, you ain't on your phone, you ain't got no headphones in, your shirt tucked in. The girls, I know you should have took time to do your edges last night. Let me get off the phone with your boyfriend and get your stuff together in the morning. Because I don't do headbands. I don't do none of that stuff. So when you come to my class, don't come here cussing. Don't come here doing all the stupid stuff. Don't be on your phone. I'm going to meet you at the door. I'm going to say good morning to you. Because when you walk into a room, you're supposed to be respectful. This COVID-19, bro, it's putting a damper on a lot of my kids. Because I was their outlet. Like, they was already getting ready to be in practice for June. Like, we're going to do sectionals, each sectional a week. We're going to do sectionals. We're going to break down everybody, give everybody extra help so we can get you reading. Because y'all ain't been reading since, what, KD left. Y'all haven't been reading. Y'all been playing the same song. So it's like when I got there, it was like discipline. new music. This is a new way of doing things. This is what we're gonna do. I don't care how you feel. You don't get no opinion here. You do what I tell you to do. And if I feel like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, I will ask for your opinion. I will ask for your input. Man, y'all been doing so good. What song y'all want to play? Then I ask you. But you just don't get stuff because you want stuff. Like our new generation feel like they deserve stuff just because they there. I'm like, bro, no, I don't work that way. I'm not giving it to you because that's what you want. Yeah, we got money to buy Powerade for this game, but why should I buy Powerade? Did everybody come to practice? Did everybody learn the music? Did everybody pass their test? No. So why are you asking me to buy Powerade? If you want Powerade, show me that you deserve Powerade. Because it's water. We got plenty of water, and that's what you're going to drink. You do what you're supposed to do? Oh, yeah. Hey, man, we got chicken tenders and Powerade? Yeah, bro, y'all learned 2 shows and 16 songs in 1 week. So I know you can do it for homecoming. So, yeah, I got shot some chicken tenders and Powerade. Appreciate it, Mr. E. I was like, nah, don't appreciate me. You did the work. So I'm going to give it to you. But if you don't do what you're supposed to do, I'm not going to do it. So, some people might call me mean. Some people might be like, man, you need to let them kid have fun. No, because when you in the real world, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, what happens? You get fired. You get laid off. Somebody else gets your job. You get looked up for a promotion. So if I don't make you do it now, you ain't going to do it later.
Right.
It's just like like I was talking about COVID-19. I'm the outlet. They was looking for it. We can't do it because I got to wait on the State Department to do this or do that, or my district making me use Dragonfly. I don't know what happened, but I got to use Dragonfly. Every single last kid, medical history and physical, everything got to be in before they can step foot on that campus and do practice. Like, all of it. I don't know what happened, or why we got to use it this year, but most of my kids weren't getting physicals till I got there. Y'all hired me late, so they can't get physicals until like July or something. Now, we already behind now in practice. Some didn't come to the school year started because you know how some folks are. Oh, we didn't go to school till after Labor Day. My child ain't going to school till after August 15th. And I'm like, why? So you just made your kids miss days of school because you ain't feel like driving them up here? That don't make sense. And like Kendall, I'm not going to say his name. I already said it. But like another director said earlier, we have to teach the kids and the parents. Like when we teach the kids, like, this is what I'm going to do and I'm not budgeting, you also got to turn around and teach the parents. Like, practice in at 6. Practice don't end at 5:45 when you pull up. Practice in at 6. Don't knock on my door because I'm not going to open it. Don't come to my field and get your child off the field unless somebody dying and bleeding. Because we end at 6 for a reason. Don't come to me like, well, my child can't do this. Your child went in practice the whole time. I don't care if it's 10 minutes left in practice. If you leave early, you absent, you losing your 10 points for that day. You got to set the boundaries. So when the parents know and your administration back you up, people start to leave you alone. So just like this COVID thing, they know we haven't practiced. Don't play nothing after 4th of July. Even if we got our physical ends or not, I'm going to be on virtual. Don't play nothing. I already told the parents, especially for the dance girls. Yo, girl ain't at practice. She ain't performing the first game. So people don't call me and all that. And I'm like, look, if you had a job, right? We all can attest it. You had a job. And we told you need to start after July 4th. You need to start that night. And you said, oh, no, we still got family vacations and stuff. I'm going to find somebody else, right?
So we've heard from a lot of everybody. So I want to take it to Barrino next. Barrino, you've heard the question that we're talking about. What is your moving forward into the future and enriching the lives of the students and the children and the youth around you that look like you? And also, how are you feeling about COVID as well?
All right. I'm going to start mine off a little different. Going back to Professor Dr. Ford has said, as well as Mr. Evans, I say this much. Never shy away from the fact that y'all have to educate parents. That may sound crazy, but I come to my point. Going forward, my biggest thing is advocacy. Advocacy on 3 levels. That's the student level, the parent level, and the community level. Now, I won't get into administration because that's a whole that you can go forever about that one.
That's a beat.
We all know how administration can be. But from a student level, the understanding, man, that, just like we all have our motivations, we all have our reasons for wanting to do this, man. I always go back to myself. You're talking about a kid from pretty much the middle of nowhere, Mississippi. We were in that Memphis band scene, but it was only because we were so close to Memphis. But you know, I went through a whole lot of situations. You know, a lot of the things these kids deal with, I dealt with. Fatherless household. I had my grandparents, but you know, anybody can know it's a difference between your grandfather and your father. You want to know these things, especially if you know he ain't dead. You just want to know. And you know, I dealt with a lot when he passed away. He actually purchased my first instrument. I wanted to play saxophone. He couldn't afford it. He was honest about it. I can't afford that. So we got to go with something else. I went with trombone and was not a big fan of it when I got it in 1999, fall of 99. He died spring of 2000. And I never understood really the impact that had. I never had grief counselors. I never had people talk to me about it. It was just go through this and keep it moving. You know, you went through this situation and then you had to move on past it. And, you know, I ended up failing the 7th grade. You know, I don't shy away from it. I flunked the 7th grade. And my mother and my grandmother, they made the conscious decision, okay, we taking you out of everything. No band, no nothing. And it wasn't until I wasn't a part of it that I realized how vital it really was to me. And so advocating to these young guys and girls, you know, we live in a time society-wise, and that's going to come back around to community. Society is so different now. Kids have 1,001 decisions they can make. They can do whatever it is that they choose to do. And, you know, we so often don't get a chance to really get into the core of what that students need and what their real desire is. So with band, that's one of those outlets. That's one of the biggest outlets we have for these young people, and getting them to understand that, you know, I'm pretty sure every one of us can attest to the fact that some of the greatest life skills you're going to get them through band.
Well, how to get up in the morning early.
Man, right. I'm talking about I learned life through band. And that's why I'm so gung-ho about it, man. I get up, man, I'm talking, my ringtone is well, it used to be something band affiliated, but my alarm is something band affiliated. And people like, you know, you're such a band geek, band head, whatever you want to call it. That's lifelong. That's in me to the day that I'm gone. Yeah. And so, you know, it's because I owe so much to that craft. And so with pursuing this PhD, it's to push for the greater good for band programs, regardless of demographic. But since we're talking specifically on minorities, I'm going to jump to the societal factor, man. We as a society have to get back to pushing the importance of art. It's a guy I studied, I can't remember his name, Dr. I can't remember. It's a African name, I know that. But one of his studies talked about how, and a lot of times in our society, we push athletics. And nowadays, you know, with the evolution of dance, with the DD4L group and that show that's affiliated with them, most of our girls want to be dancers. Our boys want to be the next athlete. But when he broke it down to about, you know, nationwide, when you break down those numbers, 7,000 kids are going to pursue basketball as a long-term career. Of those 7,000, maybe 200 will make it to the college ball level. Out of 200, 7 are going to make it to the pros. Yeah. And of the 7 that make it to the pros, only maybe 2 or 3 are going to make it to retirement. So you have thousands of kids vying for that one small thing. And a lot of times they do it only because that's what's forced upon them. If society told them that, you know, band, when I was in school, I'm pretty sure you guys can attest to that too, most of your valedictorians came from the band. Your salutatorians came from the band. Your upper echelon students came from the band because of the basic science that goes behind learning it, behind learning this craft. and making sure that, you know, regardless of if it's concert band and they're playing Elsa's Procession to the Cathedral, or it's marching band and they're playing Mo Bamba, or whatever the top 20 may be at that time, making sure that they're putting their best foot forward as musicians. That footprint being that, you know, I've been blessed to have worked on the college level and all the way down to elementary. So I've dealt with them from start to finish, pretty much. We have to make sure that the things that they have to know when they get to that college level or even high school, on down that pipeline, they're learning it. Everything that they need, they're getting. Everything that they should have, they're getting. We have to really get the community to understand what exactly band is, what it means, what doors it can open, why it's important. Because if you're pushing these same things on these kids and that child does not attain it, but they would have been better in band, you did them a disservice too. You did them a huge disservice. From a parental standpoint, they go right in there with that community side. Parents, in a lot of cases now, like I said, don't be afraid of the fact that you have to educate a parent on the importance of these things. We have too many pro-choice parents versus actual parents that are going to guide their children through these things. Like, if you're going to give them the option, well, you know, you don't feel like coming to band practice day, baby, that's okay, but they're going to miss something. They're going to miss something because you've allowed them the right. So guess what? They're going to go out into the real world. They're going to get their job and they're going to think, well, I ain't got to go to work today. I ain't really feeling it. I ain't got to go. You fired. You fired. In the simplest terms, that's what you're going to deal with. And then going on to, I guess if I had another level of this advocacy, speaking to our peers, man, we have got to do better as minority band directors of working as a cohesive unit. Everything that's vital to one has to be vital to the other. We have to make sure that these kids are all attaining as close to the same level. Competition, rivalry, all of that dies after that game is over. We have to still be able to meet and discuss the things that's going to get these kids to the next level, whatever that may be. If they choose to be music educators, if they choose to be lawyers, whatever it is, they learn a skill through band that is going to push them to that. And in reference to COVID, I'm in an interesting spot myself in that, you know, I'll be teaching undergrad classes at the University of Memphis this fall. Been tasked with teaching woodwind methods. Blessed to say I have at least a foundation in it because that's what I'll be teaching from, the foundations, teaching woodwind methods. But I take that as a huge undertaking in that the skill set that I have to pass on to them is going to carry over into the future. If I fail, they fail. And every teacher has to keep that in mind. Wherever you have your shortcoming, you should always, you know, we all came through Alabama State. One thing you learned if you came through those halls, learning is a lifelong process. You're going to be learning the rest of your life. You will never know everything. So always be humble enough to say, okay, if I don't know this as a band director, let me get with somebody who does. Let me go and do some research so that I can pass on what these students need so that they can blossom, so that they can grow. And, you know, also with me, another task with COVID, I have to teach my first hybrid course. Everything now, you got to figure out how I'm going to accommodate however many students I have, split that into 2 separate sessions, get one group here, one group there, and then the other portion of it we're going to do in like a Zoom call or on some video platform, utilizing Google Classroom, in our case at University of Memphis, eCourseWare, stuff like that we have to do. We're in a very tough spot, but I think on the other side of all of this, band directors are going to get tools that we ultimately probably never realized we needed or never had in order to carry this thing into another level. We have an opportunity with COVID to explore because let's be clear, if we're going to have jobs this fall, which even though I'm not in the public school sector anymore, everybody is going to have to adapt in some way, shape, or form. And the beauty of it is, if you are true to this game, if you are truly a music educator, you are going to adapt well, one way or another. But these students are the ultimate. And so my main thing with it going forward is making sure we understand that we are, as music educators, sometimes in the lives of these students, we make or break who they become, one way or another. Either they're going to be successful because they came through me, or they're going to realize, oh crap, he was just, no, I didn't get anything from him. I've always tried to come back to that kid from Mississippi, that one that just started out just wanting to find something to do, and I picked up band. They turned into choir. They turned into writing plays for theater. They turned into all the things that I've been blessed to say I do. It's kids that have those same capabilities, but they need somebody to just open that door. And that's where we all come in. And it's more than just band directors. We have to get back to, coming to the point of it takes a village to raise a child. And we have to get back to that village. And that village has been missing for quite some time. This is a good opportunity for us to really dig in and figure out how we can get back to the core of what it was, so that our minority band programs can flourish again as they once did. That's always my biggest thing, just personally.
Definitely, man. You touched on a lot of points there. Like growing up for me, it was that was my thing. That was my thing, was band. I didn't have another. I didn't play sports. I didn't do this. It was church, school, band, video game after that. That was the last thing on the list. Church, school, band. My mama, take your ass outside and pray to make too much noise in here.
That's it. In my case, go upstairs.
Yeah, outside. Play the tuba outside.
And getting the parents to understand, if you got the patience to teach little Jimmy to go outside of the backyard, throw a football, you can teach him the spiral. You can teach him all these fundamentals of football, because you are vested mentally in him becoming the next Doug Williams, Michael Irvin, all of those greats in the arena of football. That may not be where he belongs.
Right.
That may not be what he wants to do. And because sometimes society frowns on band, like I can't believe here we are in 2020, and we look at these HBCUs. You go to these games at HBCUs, man, I hate to go here. I'm probably going to ruffle some feathers. Not many people going for football. Not many people are going for that. Exactly. It's for the
football. I don't buy a ticket.
Aspect.
I've never bought a ticket for a football game for the football game.
No. When you talk about the Bayou Classic in New Orleans, man, we had more people at the Battle of the Bands the night before than we had at the game the next day in several cases. So you have to understand this platform and what's so vital about it. And if you take a child and you push them, if they say, mama or daddy, I really want to play tuba in the band. Well, if you wanted to play football, one of my favorite movies is Varsity Blues. The dude looked at his daddy, he said, that's your life. That's your goal. But I don't want your life. Every child ain't that bold, and this ain't Hollywood. Yep. So they're not going to tell their parent, I really don't want to play that. I really don't want to do that. I want to do band. I come from a family full of athletes. I was always the oddball. Most of my family went to Jackson. I love them to death. I went to Grambling. Mm-hmm. Most of my family were baseball, football, basketball. They did all the athletics. I chose band. I chose choir. I chose theater. I chose the things that I saw in me. And that goes back to the whole pro-choice thing. If you're going to let a child choose, if they choose band, don't try to change their mind because you wanted them to do something else.
Yeah.
You have to bag what that child, if that child is gifted in band, and that's going to get them that scholarship that maybe you want them to be a lawyer. Okay, just because they want to be a lawyer don't mean they ain't going to need money to pay for school.
Right.
That band side, a lot of times we're that scholarship, and sometimes the only scholarship these kids see.
You're right.
But also the proper band director preaches the importance of academics with band. They intertwine. They're complementary. There's not one or the other. They go together. Every athlete can't say the same thing, but that's another story for another time. I'm not going.
You're right.
You know, I don't want to go there.
You better go there. You better go there, bro. You better go there, brother.
I
Marino.
ain't ruffling no.
Before I turn this over to my boy LB, before I wrap this up, I want to say, Marino, I don't know where you got that mirror from in the background, but I hadn't seen one of those since 1996. Mama
Oh, you stupid! Why? Hey, look,
Mama had 12. My mama had 12 of those all throughout the living room. LB hung his head because he knows if you go in a black painted house in Mobile, there's going to be those mirrors and burgundy curtains.
Look here, hey, look, tried to do something different with the living room. I'm like, you know what? These walls killing me. Mama said, hey, I got some stuff back there, you know, you can take a look. I looked at that mirror, I said, you know what?
Yeah.
Mama done had these mirrors for years.
That's all you see, the mirrors with them etched flowers in it.
Right.
That's
in the
a
corner.
small one. Them things used to be elaborate. Them really
it's
used to be huge.
It's 2 of them, right?
Oh, he got the stuff.
There it is.
Yeah, you chill out. Chill out.
But it's
LB,
matching. But it's matching. It's matching.
Hey, man.
I'm gonna
I'm
let you
learning a
wrap
little
it.
something, just a little.
There's a little something. LB, I'm gonna let you wrap it up with us, man. Same question posed to you. What are your next steps as a Black director who's really spanned both elementary, the middle, the high school, and now in college and still doing elementary? And how do you want to move forward and bring us home with this whole conversation?
Well, for me, at this point now, man, I just want to inspire people, you know, my student parents, all included, to be the best version of themselves. And the medium that I choose to do it in is through music, and particularly me being a band director, conductor, and you know, instilling values in my students and these parents, the community, anybody that I come in contact with. You know, integrity, courage, you know, positive mental mindset. You know, just instilling values in people, you know, and the way that I plan on doing it and want to go by doing it, and just improving myself, and then taking the knowledge that I learned and stuff I learned and research and experiences that I have, and packaging them in whatever package I may find appropriate at the time, and giving to the people around me that ask for it. So, you know, I think of me right now, like I'm in an incubation period right now. You know what I'm saying? I try to stay, like my boy Marino said, I try to stay in the background as much as possible. But I'm learning new stuff. I want to gain new experiences, and I want to be able to share these with my students that I currently have at Miles College, and also to my elementary students. You know, teaching them about leadership. You know, because a lot of one thing, a lot of our society now, a lot of our society is dependent on people. They be dependent on people. They're not independent. Number one, having these same values in themselves. And then one thing is really hard for us as a society is to be interdependent on people. Like Marino was saying, like we have a problem as, you know, Black band directors getting together and sharing information. We take the rivalry from the field and we take it out into our professional and personal lives, and we keep it. But, you know, the highest level that a society can be, and when they're really successful, is when we're interdependent on each other. We're sharing ideas. We're being open with each other, like we're doing now. We have an open conversation, and even when it's going on to what's going on in society racially, you know, in order to get past this stuff, you know, we got to have hard conversations. We got to be interdependent on each other. The only way our white brothers and sisters gonna learn about us is if we have those conversations. And the only way they're gonna learn about us is if they are bold enough to ask those questions. They have the courage to ask those questions. You know, and that even going back with our parents. We got to be bold enough to have those hard conversations with our parents. You know, look, I'm in my band program. We're building this particular culture, and these are the standards that's going to be in our particular culture. So you and your child as a family, y'all got to meet my standards. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm building a culture here. This is what we're going to do. And just like everybody has said, you know, when you go out into the real world, you go to Chick-fil-A. If you don't learn how to say good morning welcome
My
to
pleasure.
Chick-fil-A, how my pleasure, you don't know how to say that, they're gonna fire you behind. They got a culture at Chick-fil-A that they're already established, and it's your job to come and blend yourself into that culture, not the other way around. So, and again, all that depends on communication. So, with me, that's what I want to do. I want that's how I plan on keep moving things forward as a Black educator, just inspiring people by myself learning new things, and then again repackaging them and sharing them out to people, whether it be through clinics, whether it be through regular conversations, podcasts like this, whether it be through books, or rather it just be how I just live my life myself, rather what I show you guys, just being an inspiration on that end. And with this COVID thing, I ain't gonna lie, I'm still up in the air on a lot of stuff. I want to be optimistic about what's able to happen in the fall, but I also am prepared for, what it may very well be, doing a lot of stuff virtually. Me and my wife was having this conversation today, and Birmingham City sent out a survey, asking teachers and parents about how they feel about certain particular things. And I was like, look, honestly, I don't feel too comfortable about my children going back to school. If I had my choice, they're gonna go back virtually because I don't trust people. I go out here just about every day. I be out here hustling, do DoorDash and stuff like that. These people ain't wearing no mask, man. Like, we're not unified in what we want to do to even approach this problem of COVID as society. And that's where we have a lot of issues, that we have a lot of us are looking in different ways and how to approach the situation instead of trying to find a unified way in order to do it. So that's my concern just with my children going back to school in the fall. Whatever the state superintendent may say Friday, is everybody in the state going to be willing to put forth the effort and what's needed to be to make sure that we all are aligned and going in the same direction. But that's another conversation in itself. But like I said, with this COVID thing, whatever medium we may have to use, whether it be virtual or face to face, I want to be an inspiration to my students and to the parents and to everybody that I come in contact with. And in order for me to do that, I have to improve myself. So just like Barino said, this is going to provide new avenues for us as music educators to learn new things, especially dealing with technology, delivering information via Zoom meetings and presentations and building websites and stuff like that, because we got to keep this ball rolling. We can't become stagnant. If we drop the ball this year, that's just gonna give people the opportunity to say, well, them jokers weren't doing nothing now. When we made it without them, so we don't need them. They'll try to eliminate us. So this is gonna be a perfect opportunity for us to evolve and learn new skill sets and better our profession. So that's, for me, that's how I plan on trying to move forward in this thing. I want to be an inspiration for our community by blazing new trails, going into areas that people not used to going into. I'm not trying to be long-winded, but like I do a lot of stuff in conducting. That's like my real passion, like getting on the podium and whatever type of music it may be, whether it be marching band, whether it be on the concert side. It's just revealing music through just the process of rehearsing and putting it together. Yeah, the performance is great, but I'm learning now in life is that where we get a bulk of our experiences from is from the process of learning how to do something. Like, say for instance yourself, Malcolm, the performance of you actually doing the podcast is cool, but the process of you putting all this stuff together is where you learn that, where you gain all the experience at. Yeah. And sometimes we lose sight of the actual process. We'll be so focused on the performance, and we gotta make sure the performance is there. Yeah, that's a huge component, but an even bigger component is the experiences you gain from the process. So That's what I want to do. Use that platform. I mean, blaze trails in that area and conducting and rehearsing with bands and developing leaders. You know, from the aspect of me being on the podium. You know, making my the people that I'm in charge of at that point in time. My best word I can think of at the time. Making them better through that whole experience of experiencing music. You know, whether it be marching band through, you know, marching band arrangements and drill, you know, making that experience just crazy, you know, just something that the students just be like, oh my God, I can't wait to get to practice. I know I got to be at practice because something special about to happen, you know, and from the concert side, you know, students being excited about the process because they know the product gonna be there because the process is just killing. So that's what I want to do, you know, especially post COVID, you know, finding, taking everything that I'm learning and repackaging it for the people that I come in contact with.
Absolutely.
I just want to be open to that. So yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm still upset to this day that LeBaron McWater came all the way to Montgomery, Alabama and taught Nightmare on Elm Street and then did not leave the band room. I'm still upset. That was one of the most badass Halloween horror pieces. And like you said, the conducting of it, the way he taught it was just so intricate. And it never left the band room. And I know we've all got some stories of songs that never left the band room. But y'all, I want to appreciate y'all for coming on here. We're gonna have more of these conversations because this is needed. People need to know how important band is. I'm not in you guys' shoes as directors, but band is important to me. I'm talking about band every day. The stuff I listen to. I'm not riding down the street bumping the NBAs and the Lil Baby and all the other folks. I'm riding down the street blasting Earth, Wind & Fire because where did I get that from? I got that from band. Like that's the main thing in my playlist. But thank y'all so much for doing this, guys.
No,
Guys,
thank you.
Thank you for getting it together, man.
Most
Oh,
definitely. We're going to be coming with more conversations, more topics, more things to talk about in this world of music and Black directors and cultivating communities, and because that's what it's all about. If your community is behind your band, and I'm gonna be real quick, growing up and watching the high school bands, the community was a part of it. It was like, we live in Tomerville. I'm just speaking for Mobile. We live in Tomerville, and the flow can't y'all can't blow out Blunt, or we live in this neighborhood, and y'all can't blow out our band down, and that's how it was, and that's how it should still be. I want to see the resurgence of community bands, and bands that are also coming out of rec centers and all that good stuff. That's why I interviewed Tyree Gilbert. I hate he didn't get a chance to speak, but Tyree Gilbert got in front of the Cincinnati public schools on Zoom and let them know, like, hey, don't put $1 million in the police force. Put some money into this community. Let us have a mass band. And he came with the facts. He said, the money that you're going to use for the police, we can take the same amount of money out of that $1 million and get a certain amount of trumpet, a certain amount of trombone, a certain amount of clarinets. He labeled it all down and said, we can build music culture. We can get kids in the neighborhood to get something to do other than to get in trouble or get in things that they shouldn't be getting into. So go check that episode out. We detailed about that. I interviewed him one-on-one. It's on our one-on-one series on the Founders Anonymous YouTube channel. But thank y'all guys for joining us, man. Brothers, thank y'all for being here. We'll see you guys in another video.